What's going on, everybody? Welcome to This Week in Lacrosse, the show that brings you highlights and news from the world of boys high school lacrosse from around the country. This week, we have the Sharks from Ponte Vedra, the defending Florida State champs, as their head coach and two of their players talk about what it was like to go up and face two of Maryland's best, because they went up just before the season ended. Well, let's not say ended, before the season went on pause. To take on Boys Latin and Gilman. And so we discussed their trip, what it was like, because it's very unique for a team from Florida to travel north that early in the year to take on teams from Maryland. Usually the Maryland teams head to Florida. So let's get into it. All right, guys. So thanks for being on. I figured now's a I guess a good time. We all should be thinking about and doing other things right now, but in the meantime, I figured it'd be a good time to kind of reflect on your guys' trip to Maryland. And Coach West, I want to start with you because it's not really uncommon for the top teams in top teams in Florida to play the top teams in Maryland, but I think it's a little bit more unique because usually they come to you guys. Weather in Maryland in early March is usually a little bit hit and miss. So why don't you kind of talk about how this trip even got initially started?
Yeah. So the past couple of years, we went to King of Spring in North Carolina, which was a great experience. But after we won the state championship, we wanted to do something different. And we knew we had a pretty talented group of guys coming back. So this summer we played in a couple events where we built some relationships with these guys. And before we played Boys Latin in an event this summer, we had everything planned where we're going to go and play them and go up there. Because they were saying no one ever comes to us. We're always going down to Florida or we're always doing this. And we just thought, what an experience it would be to go right into the Lion's Den, Now, we did beat Boys Latin in the summer, and it was a unique experience. I can have the boys tell you about that specifically. Yeah. But they were a little pumped for us when we got up there this year, so that probably didn't help us too much. We ran into that buzzsaw.
Yeah.
But we had, we didn't think we'd be able to do it because public schools really don't do that.
Yeah.
But we have a great group of parents. We have great kids that the school trusts, and we have an AD that kind of went to bat for us and said, hey, this is something cool for the boys. If we can make this happen, let's do it. And it took probably 2 months or so, but once it all got ironed out, I'll let the boys tell you, it turned out to be an awesome experience.
Yeah. So
two games.
We'll go from what I'm viewing clockwise. So Davis, what was the trip like? What was your first reaction whenever you found out you guys were even going to go up to Baltimore to play Boys Latin and Gilman?
Well, it was really exciting. We had, obviously, like Coach West said, we went up to North Carolina the past few years, but this time being able to hop on a plane and fly up with the boys, that was a really unique experience that not a lot of high school teams from Florida get to do, and I thought it was really unique and really fun.
Carter, what about you? What was your reaction when you found out?
Like everybody said, we've always done the North Carolina trip. That's kind of been our thing every year. For this year, for us to fly up to Maryland, it was kind of shocking, I guess. A Florida team that's kind of unheard of. So like everybody said, it was exciting, So yeah.
So Coach West, when you're putting this together, kind of I'd say what goes all into it, but I'm sure it's one of those things like you're a high school, so there's usually, I think it helps to sell it if there's some sort of like educational part to it, or something more than just athletics. So what was it like, kind of planning the trip? Because I know you guys did more than play games up there too.
Yeah. So obviously we have to have an educational component to be able to travel that far and spend that much money. When we're planning on what we were going to do, we were looking at Washington D.C. or Baltimore to play teams.
Yeah.
So we talked to Georgetown Prep, we talked to St. John's, and then it worked out where Gilman and Boys Latin was going to be the route we were going to go. Mm-hmm. We were trying to find some cool things to do in D.C. That we could do as a team and a bonding experience. And to be honest with you, Davis's dad was like, hey, how would you like to go to the White House? I put our names in and we got approved. And we were like, wow, okay. So we kind of took it from there. And then we had a great experience there. We get up pretty early in the morning, and they held us out a little bit to get into the White House because the helicopters were coming in to pick up the president. So that was a really cool experience to see that.
Yeah, a little
And
bit
then,
extra.
yeah, he was on his way to Nashville. So then we actually were in the White House and we got to see him leave and go to Nashville and then take off.
Yeah.
So it was a really cool experience. And, the boys got to walk around D.C. for a little while, which was fun. And for me, just, I wish I could have done something like that in high school or college. So it was kind of cool to see these guys be able to do that.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? I mean, you were there.
Yeah, we got to see the monument. That was cool. And the big part of it, usually do those trips with your family, but and they're fun. But then you do it with your best friends, you do it with your brothers, and it was amazing. It was a good time. We really enjoyed it.
How about you, Davis?
Just being able to walk around with, like Carter said, the team, and just being able to see the White House and also the couple monuments that we were able to walk around to, and it's a really fun time. And seeing the president take off in his huge helicopter was pretty cool.
Yeah. Coach West, you're putting all this trip together. Like, how much of an announcement did you make to the guys at District 7? Because, like you said, you've been to King of Springs, so I'm going to guess the guys are probably assuming, something along that line, possibly again for this year. But, so what kind of announcement did you make to the team whenever you're like, we're going to play Boys Latin and Gilman?
Yeah, so they were kind of involved in the whole process. It takes a village to do something like this. So they knew what was going on, but once we got the approval from the county, it was pretty cool because they were like, my AD called me and Eric Frank, and he was like, hey, you guys got approved. Go up there and represent. So
Yeah.
it was cool. We told the boys, and we were pretty excited. I don't think you really believed it until we started buying our tickets and saw it on our schedule.
Yeah.
But we also knew, we were like, listen, like if we can go up there and play their way, like we had to play college rules, which we don't play in Florida.
Yeah.
If we can push our comfort level, that's only going to prepare us for the state championship, and if we can get that far down here.
Yeah.
So we had some things we wanted to get out of it, and we also knew that, listen, we could go and try to have an undefeated record or whatever, but what's that going to do? Like, what's that going to do for you as a team or a program? Or we want to stress test to see what we have to get better at.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like our motto all along is, how can we get better? How can we get better each game?
Yeah.
So I know as a staff, after we played Gilman and then after we played Boys Latin, we were like, wow, this is stuff we have to get better at. But I mean, if you watch the Boys Latin game, here's the funny thing about that, and I think the boys will back me up on this. We didn't play bad. They were just awesome. Like, it wasn't like we played poorly. Like we were able to do so many different things and try so many different things that no one down here has ever done to us.
Yeah.
Davis, did you ever have to cover anyone like that ever in your life? I mean, you may never have to cover anyone like that again. I don't know. Like, Grimes was amazing.
Actually, it looks like, Davis, you might have to unmute yourself.
You hear me now?
Yep, can hear you now.
Yeah. Their whole offense was definitely like top tier, and we get to go against a really good offense in practice every day, but their chemistry, and they were firing on all cylinders against us. So we weren't really playing bad or anything. It was just kind of, they were just running on all cylinders and just going out every second.
Yeah. And Carter, how about for you? Like, what was that game like? I mean, obviously, I guess we're talking about the Boys Latin game because that came second, but you guys had just come off the Gilman game where you guys played pretty tight. Like, that was a pretty back and forth game for the most game. And then, honestly, Boys Latin, I think they returned everybody from last year, but then it's almost like they got an extra because Brendan Grimes he was out all last year, so like he was almost like he was back in his first game for basically almost a year. So what was playing like? What's the difference between playing Boys Latin to some of the other teams that you guys normally play? Like, because I think some people saw the score and they were like, they see the score and they're shocked, but they're not realizing what all goes into that either.
Probably the biggest difference was probably the speed of the game. Down here, we don't have a shot clock. We don't have a shot clock, so obviously it's going to be a lot faster up there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was probably the biggest part of it. And then it was also just super physical. And not even like to where it got super chippy and everyone was just going each other's heads. It was just bigger guys, bigger than down here, more physical. That was really it.
Yeah.
So those two things, definitely the speed of it and then the physicality of it.
Yeah. How about for you, Coach? Like, I mean, you've seen these teams. You guys, like you said, you guys played them over the summer. Like, I mean, you guys have seen top quality teams. It's not, not different from you, but like from your perspective, like what was the difference?
I think there's a couple things. One, the shot clock. We didn't spend a lot of time preparing for it. To be honest with you, I thought the shot clock would be favorable for the way we play anyway, because what everyone does down here is they try to slow it down on us, so we're not getting up and down the field, which is our strength.
Yeah.
I think the Gilman game, there were a couple times where we weren't 100% ready for the shot clock, where we were just kind of getting used to it, or we're like, all right. So like the first couple possessions, we just had to play, and then we had to get used to it. Unfortunately, that meant our defense had to play a lot, but they did a great job. Like they were excellent in that game. And then, calling timeouts, I've coached in Florida for so long, you just kind of know when to call a timeout.
Mm-hmm.
And it's different when you're playing shot clock and when you're playing college rules. So I think that got us a couple times, but the refs were really great. They're like, listen, we know you haven't done this. We'll kind of help you out here and there and give you a little time.
Yeah.
And, both teams were okay with it. They knew we were coming up and playing shot clock and college rules. So, both Gilman and Boys Latin were great. They were awesome.
And I guess we probably should clarify for anybody that's listening, may not know, like the MIAA, they play by college rules. They don't play by the general, like, high school federation rules. Like, just in case anybody was wondering why you guys, it's not like you guys just got up there and decided to do it. Like, that's you're playing in the MIAA, you play by their rules.
To be honest with you, I would love for us to play that way. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I just thought it was awesome. Like, it was such a good experience.
How about you guys? Would you guys prefer the shot clock?
You have to play fast. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It was a good time. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the rules up there. Let us play a lot faster than, not that we would down here, but it kind of forced the pace a little bit, and I really like that. I think it aided to the way that we can play, and if we had a little bit more practice with it, I think we could definitely take advantage to it.
Yeah. Our first game we came back was against Nice, and we kind of knew it was a Monday. First off, it was a Monday. We just played, and it was a long weekend, and we were like, all right, let's play, and it was hard because we were still kind of in Baltimore mode, and we were just making mistakes that we normally wouldn't make because we were trying to play so fast.
Yeah.
And, we called the timeout just to kind of fix things because we were playing like poop. And I think it was Carter or Joe T, our junior that's going to Denver, was like, Coach, it's just so slow. It's so hard. It's so slow playing right now. It's like hard to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Carter, I don't remember. But I was like, yeah, you're right. It's totally different than what we were doing 3 days ago,
Yeah.
So, like, I got to ask for the player's perspective, and either one you can go first, but, like, what was the big thing, like, your big takeaway from playing a Gilman and a Boys Latin? Like, what was the things, like, you're like, oh, maybe this is something I need to work on, or maybe I didn't know this about myself, or, like, was there anything like that you guys kind of thought about on the way back?
You want to go first, Carter?
You got it, Dave.
Okay, yeah, so I think it really helped us expose some of our weaknesses that maybe we wouldn't have gotten until later in the season if we hadn't played those games. So
yeah.
I know from a defensive perspective, just tightening up our two slides and stuff. But then I just really think it helped playing such a high level of competition, just being able to having someone to just exploit even the littlest of weaknesses. It just really helps you in the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think kind of the big takeaway that we got as a team was capitalizing on mistakes. With like what Boys Latin did to us, they capitalized on every mistake that we made. So kind of that what we like as a team, what we took away. Also, then just bigger, stronger, faster, always.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, those are great lessons. Like, it's very, I think it's be easy because I think the initial reaction, at least from what I was seeing, and you can't take Twitter as anybody's real reaction because it's Twitter. Exactly. But like everybody was shocked at the score. But I think there's a lot of, like, you guys have hit it on the head. Like, there's a lot of valuable lessons you can take away from a loss. And sometimes it's a little humbling, but then you're like, all right, you got to figure, when you get exposed, it's like, all right, better in March than, come April, May, whenever you guys are fighting for the championship, so you can kind of fix it. Plenty of time to fix that
Gilman,
stuff.
I think from playing Gilman, we knew that we can play with anyone in the country. Like, we can play.
Yeah.
And that was good for us because, we know we deserve to be in the top 25, and we know that we can play with those teams. And Boys Latin, they're immensely talented. I mean, their stick skills were phenomenal.
Yeah.
And they were prepared for us, and they were ready to play, and they were super excited to play us. you know. But our experience from Gilman was, all right, we can play with these guys, and we're just as good as any of these teams up here. And yeah, we're from Florida, you know.
Yeah.
And both the coaches and a bunch of the parents after the game were like, we just, we're impressed that you guys were tough enough to come up here, because usually no one comes up here. No one comes up and plays with guys.
Yeah.
It's get on a bus from Philly or maybe Long Island, not even.
Yeah.
And we never get people from Florida coming up here or from anywhere else around the country, really.
Yeah, it was pretty unique when I saw it.
And the parents and like what the challenge they want to face, so that we're ready for this year,
Yeah, I think it was great for you guys. It's great, and maybe it's one of those things like more teams will try. I mean, I know it's probably a logistical nightmare to get one approval and then get everything together for. I mean, it's not a short trip by any means, so it's like, but it's good for, I think, the sport, and it's got to be great for the guys just to be able to get out and, like, I don't know if, like, I know you guys do travel ball, so it's probably like you never been to Baltimore or DC before, but it's fun, it's experience, and like you guys, like I think Carter, you mentioned, like most times you do those trips to DC with your family. Not that that's not fun, but a little bit more fun when it's with your friends and teammates too. A little bit different experience, I guess we could say.
Exactly.
All right. As far as, like, is there anything that I didn't ask or cover you guys kind of want to relay about the trip? Maybe something fun that happened or an experience that I might not have thought of ask so far?
Probably I would say the most fun was just spending time with these guys in a hotel. We had team dinners together. We had film sessions together. We have a really great team. We have really great guys. And to be able to spend time with them like that outside of practice or games, at least for me, the coach, was great, because I'm blessed with these guys that I have playing for me. It's like we just had, so I miss them so much. It was like we had so much fun, just sitting in a hotel room, watching film and talking about the Gilman game, or, watching some of the great things that these guys did in that game together.
Yeah.
Carter goes coast to coast and scores a goal. Davis finally listens and gets to score his goal. The cradle wrap. Just that. Those are the things that you remember, and you remember forever.
Yeah. How about Davis? You got anything?
Coach West just hit the nail on the head. Just being able to hang out with all the guys. The first guy, what do we have? 36 kids on our team. You could hang out with any one of them and just. You're boys with all of them. We're just all brothers, and we're all family, and there's nothing like spending time with them.
Yeah. How about you, Carter?
Yeah. Every time out, we all bring it in offense. It's love on three, 1, 2, 3, love. It's just like a brotherhood that we have, and being able to make that trip with all of them, it was a really good time. We all enjoyed it. It's something we'll never forget.
Yeah. And I'd probably be a little bit remiss not to ask you guys about everything that's going on now. I mean, we would probably be doing. It's not like we'd be doing this face to face to begin with, but obviously with the season on, I keep referring to it as a rain delay. How are things going with you guys down there in Florida? Like, what are you guys hearing? What's going on? Anybody can answer.
Yeah, I mean, so the district, our school district, put us on hold. With the rest of the state. Obviously, these are hard times for our country, and we have to do our part. And, lacrosse is a game, and we love it, and we know it's going to be there when everything passes over here. We do have a plan where we'd start up with the season. If it goes longer, we have a plan where we'd have to do some club stuff. But all the coaches are in agreement that, especially the guys on the screen right now, are going to at least be able to play the 2020 season, either in a public high school setting, or if we have to do something with the club, we'll figure something out so they can play. It's a hard time. I've never gone through anything like it before.
Yeah,
it's hard. Yeah.
Hopefully, we never will either. This is one of those things like. Like, I'm here in Chicago, and about 4 hours away from we're supposed to shelter in place. So, and it's not really, like, it's one of those things I'm like, I'm not even 100% sure what that really means. Like, it's like, the movie The Purge, where the welding doors got to come down and we're not allowed to go anywhere. Or it's just like, all right, I guess we're going to find out what this is like. But, so it's a little weird. But, you guys were among the first, too. I think, California may have been early on, but I think it was only a small section of California. But then, like, the Southeast, you guys, probably got hit among the earliest for this stuff as well. So it's got to be tough. But
we can still go out, but we have all the dining rooms and restaurants are closed, so you can only do takeout.
yeah.
And have you guys done? This is our spring break. So have you guys done anything, or just kind of hang out with your family? What have you guys done?
Yeah, family and a few friends playing some poker. You can't. They said you're not supposed to be with 10 or more people, so kind of got to keep the numbers small. So
Yeah.
hanging out with a few of the boys. So yeah, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of mostly family, some small group stuff, but like Carter said, it can't be more than 10 or more, so more small stuff.
Yeah. At least lacrosse, you can actually keep the social distance and still, throw the ball back and forth. So we got that going for us.
Yeah.
Gotta look for any silver lining at this point in time, right?
Carter, it looks like Davis hasn't been spending too much money if you need another sucker for poker.
Yeah, I know. Bring him in.
Davis, you a good poker player? No, you don't look like it.
I am a pretty good poker player, actually.
I don't know about that.
Doesn't seem like he has a poker face.
He does not.
Or I'm just very bad at. Maybe I'm just tricking you, bro. I'm just.
All right.
I have a good hand, bad hand. You don't know.
Take your skills with you to Salt Lake City?
Yep.
All right.
Well, let's hope you guys don't have too much time to work on your poker face over the next few weeks. Like I'm sure everybody here would like to get back on the field. So, guys, thank you so much. It was great hearing about the trip from your guys' perspective, and I know you guys are itching to get back on the field. So, fingers crossed that we get back and you guys can go for that second straight state championship, especially considering 2 divisions now. Florida was kind of it's going to be an exciting year to watch the Florida playoffs to begin with, just from that, but. You guys would love your chance to defend that title too.
Exactly. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having us, man.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, stay well, guys.